No auto delivery. There is no buy more, save more. What we have is what we have for this order of Black Angus Filet Mignon Medallions, each of which is in the perfect 2-ounce size. So you can share the plate with the 2 ounces or just put 2 of them on your plate for your full 4-ounce serving. And how many you are actually getting? You're getting 28. So if it's just 2 of you in the household and you want to each have 4-ounce servings, what would you pay at a steakhouse to go there 7 times for 4-ounce servings of filet mignon? You're getting the whole kit and caboodle for less than $100. 4 easy payments, but when it disappears, that is it. We don't have any more. So M58971, Ray Rastelli, the gentleman behind Rastelli Brands here at QVC, who started his business over 41 years ago, is joining us because he is a butcher by trade. And what I am so always impressed by is how you not only bring us the best because of your own personal beliefs, but how you educate us on how to cook, where this even comes from, how to cook with it. So first of all, thank you.
Oh, it's great to see you.
Good to see you too.
Well, but, you know, that's the fun part of the job, is that I get to talk to my guests every time they come in the butcher shop, right? And for 40 years, when they get into the butcher shop, they're asking me, you know, Ray, what's for dinner tonight? And I got to make sure I give them something good enough that they're going to come back next week and say, Ray, my husband or my wife or my spouse or my significant other love that product. So that's really important to us. So it is a family business, and it's really important you treat your family that way. So
that's right.
This is our family.
There's always a member of the family inside the butcher shop, which is based out of New Jersey, by the way.
Yes.
But if you can't live there, this is the way to do it, because, first of all, who doesn't love Black Angus filet mignon? But then let's take the filet mignon and then add the Black Angus to it. What does that mean?
Well, when you take Black Angus, which is by far the best steer in all of the world, and not just America, but all over the world, American beef is the finest. And knowing where your beef comes from is so critical. Our beef all comes from the heartland of our country, and it comes from small family farmers that I have been working with for over 40 years. So I know them and I trust them, and it's so important for you to know where your food comes from, where your meat comes from.
It's pure velvet.
You know,
we have one other food in the show that is pure velvet, and it has nothing to do with steak. It's like a whole other thing. But when you want your steak to just be velvety and almost melt in your mouth, this is exactly what you want.
Yeah, you know, the filet mignon, here's a whole filet, right? A 2-ounce medallion. I don't really even need a knife for this. So here's the entire medallion. Look at this.
Watch this.
Just with a fork. Don't even need a knife. And it just comes right apart. And remember, and I want to show you really on our cutting block, Sharon, what this really is. This is all pure filet mignon. So let's go over to the butcher block.
First of all, you're making everybody upset upstairs because I don't know that we brought enough for the class, for everybody who's watching up there, and 250 orders have already been placed. If you want to share this with Surf and Turf, we have the sea scallops coming up later from Australis, if you would like to join us. That's the other velvety food that we're talking about. Okay, so the butcher block, where do these come from?
So this is what a whole tenderloin looks like. This is a filet mignon, and I want you to understand that every bit is the filet mignon, but typically when you go off to a white tablecloth restaurant, you're typically used to buying something like this, you know, and it's got market price and it's going to cost you an arm and a leg. Well, the medallions are the same exact product. It just comes from a little further down, and they are just
naturally smaller. It's tapered.
Naturally smaller because it tapers down, but I want you to look at the beautiful marbling in it, and I want you to look at that there's no fat at all on that. There's no fat, there's nothing there except meat. So this 2-ounce portion, in this case 4 ounces together, as you said, it goes an awfully long way, and it's such a great product.
So, like you just mentioned, there's no excess fat that needs to come off of this because it has been completely trimmed for you, but you will see the marbling that laces through on the inside. What does the marbling actually provide to the steak?
So that's really what we look at as a butcher, right? I'm going to look for marbling inside that steak because that marbling gives us the flavor. It gives us the tenderness, the texture of the product. And because this product is coming from American beef that has never been frozen, only fresh, well, it's also aged, and that's so critical. You know, when you go to a great steakhouse, those steaks are great because they start with Black Angus and then they age them. That's what this product is, aged for 28 days. So when you age a product, you naturally break down the enzymes, which makes it naturally more tender. In a natural process, you get a product that just cooks so quick and so easy. And you know, it's one of the things I love about this steak, Sharon. Besides it cooking and besides it being so tender, it's so incredibly versatile. There's so many things that we can do with it. And now with barbecue season coming up, this happens to be the perfect item on the grill because it cooks so quick, right?
So you know what? I'm going to remind you of what you're getting for those that are just joining the show, and then I want to talk about some of those examples. 350 have now just flown out the door, so I need to remind you of a couple of things. It's brand new. There is no reorder. You have 4 easy payments that are going away at the end of the day. And the price that you see on the screen of less than $100 is also going up at the end of the day, not to be lower for at least 6 months, should we even decide to do this exact offer for you again, and we actually may not. So that's why I'm really hoping that you grab it, and you might even want to get more than one order because they will stay good in your freezer for a significant period of time. But you can do 4 easy pays of $24.99. We actually used to do these sizes of filet mignons in the 2-ounce size and a buy more, save more opportunity. And the save more part of it was for your set of 28. It was still more money, $10 more than we have for your price here today. So each one of your steaks breaks down to $3.57 a piece. But if you want to do your 4-ounce servings, so take 2 of them and make them together for your 4 ounces, that's $7.14 an ounce. And if you got 4 ounces at one of those major steakhouses where you could find Black Angus cooked to your liking, you're going to be spending way more. Way more. I can't give you an exact number, but it is definitely not going to be a price like $7 and change. Now 450 orders have been placed, and there's no auto delivery. When it sells out, that's it. So now is definitely your time for all of your grilling needs for the summer. So what are you showing us in here? First of all, I love how juicy, because filet mignon is one of those things that I know that sometimes we can cook things more well done, but what do you say about filet mignon? What do you think about that?
You know, I like a rare to a medium rare on the filet because it's going to be so incredibly tender. But what I think is most important about the filet, because there is no outside fat, unless you've got a really great filet mignon with the marbling inside, you're not going to get that moisture. So look at how beautiful the moisture is.
Right.
That comes from the marbling that's inside that steak. And that's why when you go to a great steakhouse, you always say, my goodness, the steak I got at a steakhouse was so phenomenal, but I can't get that at a supermarket. There's a reason. It's probably not Black Angus, and in most every case, it's never been aged the way we age these steaks the way we do.
You know what? That's true. You rarely find anything that's been aged in the supermarket. All they want to do is get the food in and get the food out. It's all about how quick can we possibly do this, not let's take our time and craft this. This is crafted for you to have an experience. This is a food, a steak, a filet mignon experience when you get it at home. So let's talk about how quick they are to cook if we're doing this on the grill.
Yeah, so we just put these on just as we came on. So we've been on for a couple of minutes, but what I really love about this is, remember, they're filet mignons, right? It's a real steak, right? These aren't chunks, these aren't tips and tails, and I think that's really important for you to know it. But literally in just a few minutes, I've got a beautiful steak that I just cooked right in front of you, right on the grill, and actually I overcooked it. This was done about a minute or two ago, and look at how beautiful that is.
Can I ask you a favor? Can you actually slice part of the more well side for me? I never do that because I like it as rare as you can legally make it.
Something
but I'm curious.
A little bit more well, right? And I'm gonna actually go ahead and just cut it with you for a fork, Sharon. That way you can try that.
Oh my gosh, is that the well side? Okay. Wait, and I just got an update from upstairs. What's the scoop? Haha, guess what I just heard? Fewer than 800 left. Sorry about that. 800 left to go around. No auto delivery, no reorder. If you want it, now it's definitely going to be your time because that price is going up at the end of the day. You even took a piece of well done meat, which is not my personal favorite. I know some people love it. It's well done and it's still juicy and it's still tender. It's still soft. How do you do that?
Yes, and again,
you're amazing, Ray.
No, you know, it's because it's what we start with.
It's the beef.
It is. It's the beef. It's American beef coming out of the heartland of the country. It's Black Angus that has been aged. And when you take a product and you start with a great product like Black Angus and you treat it right, you handle it properly, you make sure that the steaks get the proper aging, and more importantly, that they get proper trimming. Because again, I want you to look at this steak.
I don't really enjoy paying for something I'm not going to eat.
Yes.
I get to eat everything that I pay for here.
But look at this steak. It has been completely trimmed one end to the other. There is no fat. You're going to get every bit of flavor and tenderness, and I guarantee you this, trust me, there will not be one bite that you take from this that is not tender.
So I just heard now we have fewer than 700 to go around. So in the last 30 seconds you were chatting, 100 more just flew out the door with no reorder and no auto delivery. So I want to bring something else to your attention, because not only do you have those 4 easy payments, which I highly recommend to just get them home, get them in your freezer for less than $25 a month. This is a food that can be eaten breakfast, lunch, and dinner,
Yes.
because this 2-ounce size is perfect. You want to do a sunny side up egg.
And we've done
And
that.
this, if you like to have like a nice breakfast that's protein rich but not like overdone, perfect size. You don't need to trim anything. You don't need to cut it in half. This will make an amazing steak sandwich. Did you want to have some filet, my friend? Here, right here.
sir.
Rick, good
Here's
to
a
see you,
clean
sir.
fork for you.
How are
Good to see
you?
Always good to see this
Terrific,
guy.
terrific.
Number 1 brand here. You know what comes to mind
Yes,
with
what?
this guy right here, with these size, is my wife. We went to a major steakhouse a while back with the $50 steak, and then
Yes.
how much for the sides? And she
Oh
got
yeah, it's
her-
all a la carte.
Yeah, it's all
Yeah,
a la
it's
carte.
crazy.
And she got her portion, and she's like, what am I supposed to do with this thing? Throw it? What do I got to do? It's this massive, it's too much. This is her size. This is her portion. So if you don't want like
Yes.
a half-pound steak, it's
And you know
ridiculous.
what? And the other
it's
thing,
so good.
to your point about that, is the whole calorie counting, the points. If you're on a
Right.
system, if you're doing your protein and you like to measure your stuff out, this is amazing. But if you don't like to measure your stuff out, throw a couple more on there. You can make it as informal as you want it to be, or
Perfect.
as mathematical as you want it to be.
I'm perfect every time.
Thank you. It's
I agree.
It's all about the steak. And one of the things I love, we've got Memorial Day coming up, we got holidays coming up. I love being able to get on the grill, throw 10 or 15 or 20 of these on, depending on how many people are coming that day, and then just throw them on a board. Throw them on a beautiful board,
Look, and then
maybe
they take their
with
own.
some different veg, and they just grab what they want. It's certainly not a burger.
So,
but
yeah.
your guests will be just thrilled with that.
You're right. And we love burgers too, but if you're serving filet mignon for your gathering, well, frankly, with the price of burgers sometimes, even if you're just shopping at your local grocery store, which their ingredients are not as impressive anyway, oh my gosh, to serve filet to your guests, they pick up one of these steaks. It's $3.57 for filet mignon. Yeah, they may never leave your house. That could actually end up being a
yes,
problem. You have to set up aero beds in the living room because they don't want to leave. But I need to let you know we have fewer now than 500 to go around. This is the only order. So this is no reorder. There is no auto delivery to lock into. And this price is going up at the end of the day. And even should we do this again in the future, the price is not going to be this for at least 6 months, and we may never do this particular offer again anyway. This actually beats the buy more, save more we have done on this in the past by a full $10. So, let me ask you first of all how they're packaged. What do we expect when they
So
we
when
get
they
them
come,
home?
they're going to come vacuum packaged. There's two 2-ounces in every single
So
package.
each package is essentially 4 ounces worth.
Exactly. So you've got them. These are going to hold up in your freezer for at least 12 months. They defrost very quickly. If you get in a pinch, drop them under cold water and they'll be ready for you. But literally, I put these on 3 or 4 or 5 minutes ago, Sharon, and we're just about ready to go. And that's what I love about these. Easy, quick, but just so decadent. Whoever you serve these to is just going to be thrilled with it. When you can take a steak just like this, a whole steak, and I can take my fork
Right in the middle.
right in the middle of that steak, and look at that.
Oh, here,
I cut-
wait, they're catching it now.
Okay,
That was
so
all just with the fork.
I cut right through that entire steak with a fork. Now, you can't do that with a steak that's inferior. You can't do that with a steak that has not been aged. And when you're able to do that, you're going to have a guest that's going to be just thrilled each and every time they get to your home.
Whether it's for that giant gathering, maybe you're having a huge shindig at your house for Memorial Day, this will get there on time as long as you order with your major credit card. Put it out on the platter. Serve it with carbs, without carbs. Let everybody choose if they want to do the carb thing. I usually
Yes.
forego that for a
Yes.
lot of the barbecues, but it's your choice because they're in these perfect little 2-ounce sizes, however you want to serve it. And we have no reorder on this. What we have is what we have, and this is only the first hour of our show. We're not even done with the first hour. We have 2 hours left to go, and we will be mentioning this again. Now we have fewer than 300 left to go around, and I will tell you, with well over 1,000 ordered just in the past few minutes, if you're interested in this, I would not recommend waiting until the end of the show. I actually would not even recommend waiting until next hour, because in 12 minutes, at the beginning of next hour, I don't know that we will have any of these left, and the price is going up at the end of the day anyway.
So Sharon, right off of the griddle, right? This has been down there for about a little more than 5 minutes. I hit it with some salt, some seasoning, and the seasoning packet does come with it. And look at this. That's quickly. I have
so
got
tender.
just an incredible steak. That look, I'm going to double this steak up, and I'm still going to be able to cut it right in half with a fork.
Oh my you put two of them on
Look, two
top
of them
of each
together.
other and you
That's-
still cut it with a
That's
fork.
how fork tender this steak is. And every one of these will be just as tender because they're all Black Angus. They have been aged to perfection and they've been completely trimmed. And you know, having a product that's trimmed like that, it's great because you don't have to worry about any fuss or muss. You're going to eat from one end to the other.
You know what? I almost thought you were a ninja there for a second. We were laying the boards up and he just chopped right through them with a fork. So, guess what?